Monsoon.
And your host, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Prime Time Wrestling. We're rapidly approaching the holiday season, and we're all in a very good mood here, including the Weasel. I'm sorry, the Brain. I get confused once in a while. But
you know, start off that way. I was in a good mood.
I want to just make sure that the fans all realize that you did promise to bring us up to date on the Andre reinstatement this week.
Like I told you before, the money I spend for Hernandez is nobody's business.
Oh, I didn't ask you that. I asked you about Andre.
I don't always
We've got
have to
some
talk about
tremendous
you
matchups here this week. Of course, our featured bout, Ace Orton and the Magnificent Morocco in tag team action against the rapidly climbing the ladder of success here in the World Wrestling Federation, the Islanders, Tama and Haku.
I wonder in the islands how they trim their trees. Do they hang some of the other islanders on it, or do they use ornaments, or what do they do?
They probably have Christmas ornaments, and they hang them up just like anybody else does.
What does Santa do there? Come down a palm tree?
Whatever. You know, whatever turns him on. I don't know.
I wonder where Rudolph lands that day.
Anywhere he desires, I suppose. Other tremendous tag team action here this week. Of course, the title on the line, the British Bulldogs, the reigning champions here in the World Wrestling Federation, against two individuals that the Slickster thinks is going to take it back to the championship with him.
Volkov and Sheik.
Yeah, former champions.
Yes, they are.
Would you like to bet on that match?
Sure.
You're a betting guy?
I'm a betting guy. I don't.
I'll bet you one thing. I bet you don't tell us anything about Andre before the week is over.
I'll be glad to. What would you like to know?
We're going to go down to ringside right now.
Now he's avoiding it.
Tag team title on the line. Let's go to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. It is for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship. Introducing first the manager of the challengers, the manager known worldwide as the Doctor of Style, Slick. And the challengers from Tehran, Iran, weighing 258 pounds, the Iron Sheik. And from Moscow, Russia, weighing 313 pounds, Nikolai Volkov. Introducing the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion from Leeds, England, weighing 244 pounds, Davey Boy Smith. And from Manchester, England, weighing 225 pounds, the Dynamite Kid and their mascot, Matilda.
Davey Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid, the British Bulldogs, along with Matilda, their mascot. Title on the line here in the Summit. Gorilla Monsoon at ringside along with Kenny Resnick. Former champions against the champion. Oh, look at that! Matilda going after the Slickster.
Well, perhaps Gorilla Matilda would like to break the other arm of the Doctor of Style.
Or perhaps a leg.
Maybe the British Bulldogs didn't get a chance to feed Matilda today, and she'd like to chew on a little of the Doctor of Style's leg.
She doesn't like Slick. She's going after him once more. Oh, look at her. I love it.
And Slick very obviously wanting no part of Matilda. In an earlier encounter, Matilda was directly responsible for breaking the arm of the Doctor of Style. And
that's a good shot of Matilda right there.
I don't know, Gorilla, let me ask your opinion. Slick doesn't just seem to be quite as stylish these days with that arm in a cast.
Definitely not. Oh, what a ball. We're going to have to be subject to this once more. They hung Nikolai for being a good singer to hang an innocent man.
Even Nikolai Volkov wanting no part of Matilda.
He refuses to sing while Matilda is still in the ring. I guarantee you Matilda will head for cover when he does start singing. Well, are you going to do it or not? Here he goes. Well, thank God we got the short version.
Now, Slick is talking to the ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Slick has requested, due to upsetting his wrestlers, that you do not shout USA, USA. It is irritating.
To me, Gorilla, that's like trying to put out a fire with a can of gasoline.
That's a little reverse psychology that will definitely boomerang on him. The Sheik is leaving. He doesn't like it. He's on his way back to the locker room. I don't know why they're fooling around with this kind of stuff, Kenny. This is a golden opportunity for this team to once again regain the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship of the World.
Well, they claim the titles were stolen. Now you see us sitting here at ringside watching this all-important tag team championship match. Charlie Kerfeld, the fine relief pitcher for the Houston Astros. Now, what a great year the Houston Astros have. He really is. We had a chance to see him during the playoffs this year with those glasses on, but now with the glasses off, he really is a very handsome young man, and what a future he has in Major League Baseball.
Boy, he certainly does, and a tremendous athlete as well. Taking advantage, a golden opportunity for him to come down here and see some of the world's best professional athletes when you're dealing with the talent here in the World Wrestling Federation. Davey Boy in there right now with a big Russian, nice shoulder block, and a second one sends Davey down. Oh, look at that cartwheel by Nikolai. Davey quickly down in front, over the top goes a big guy, ran into an elbow, just grazed him, but enough to knock him down. Not going to pin him that way. Might have seemed like a good idea at the time. Arm wringer now, going to work. That's what you got to do with Nikolai Volkov. Pick a spot out and go to work on it. Dynamite coming in via the top rope. Double axe handle right to the elbow area.
How does that song go? With a little help from my friend?
A little help from my friends. And the Dog's got a lot of friends. Boy, they certainly have not been any closet champions. It's almost been a year now since they won the title from the Dream Team. Look at the continuity, the quick tags in and out.
I've yet to see a team that exhibits the kind of teamwork that the British Bulldogs, Dynamite and Davey Boy, do. They tag as fast as any two men in the annals of wrestling.
Backfire there.
I don't quite think that's what Nikolai Volkov had in mind.
A little strategy, Winter Ray. Slickster giving a little consolement there to Nikolai. He's been kicked before.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll get kicked again.
It's interesting to note, Gorilla, that the Doctor of Style is not running around the ring like he normally does, because he knows that on the other side of the ring is Matilda.
Well, I should hope so. Double axe handle by the big Russian. Wham! Right into the top turnbuckle goes Davey Boy Smith. Chant going out now from this crowd here in the Summit, USA. That's not what the Slickster wanted, but that's exactly what he's going to get. Anything to change the flow of the momentum. Headbutt, favorite move of Nikolai. I felt that many a night.
Right in the breadbasket. Now
there's the tag.
Now, Gorilla, there's been so much talk as to whether or not the Iron Sheik loads up that curly Q point on the tip of his boot.
Well, he certainly does. You know, he's done it on a number of occasions. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not successfully.
There, as you see a picture of Matilda, Gorilla, we have a visitor joining us at ringside.
Well, could I bring the other manager over? And,
Monson, let me tell you one thing. I'm tired of that dog attacking me. I'm going to have my attorney to file an injunction to keep her away from the ring. I'm incensed and I'm outraged over this, and it's not going to happen again.
Matilda has a license just like you do.
That's bullcrap,
in fact,
man.
you look a little bit like Matilda.
Can't have a license to be out here, and that dog attacks me for nothing, and you know I never bothered nobody in my life. So what's the last thing I do? I'm going to ruin.
Slick, can I ask you, do you think there's any reason Matilda's taken this dislike to you?
I don't know what it could be. Everybody knows what a wonderful person I am.
Take a hike, will you? Give me a break.
Wonderful person, all right.
What a fountain of misinformation. In the meantime, Dynamite on the receiving end. He's in there with 305-pound plus Nikolai Volkov, giving away a whole lot of weight here. Going to work on that lower lumbar area.
Probably a very smart move by Nikolai, as the British Bulldog's known for those tremendous snap suplexes. That requires all the strength in that lower back to execute that maneuver. If they weaken that, that would weaken a big part of their arsenal.
Double team coming down right now as the referee distracted by the big Russian. And the Iron Sheik putting it to Dynamite Kid, trapped in the wrong part of town. Not too much Davey Boy could do about it. Talk about cunningness. These two guys got it.
That they do, and Gorilla, like the Doctor of Style, Slick or not, I think you'd agree that ever since he took over as their manager, Sheik and Volkov have become even more vicious, if that's possible.
Look at that. He spat on him twice. Give me a break. There's no place for that in the world of professional sports. Got all the ability, all the wrestling knowledge, great conditioned athlete. Why do you have to do stuff like that? Look out. Hard onto the concrete floor goes Dynamite. She's very happy about what he's done.
As you mentioned, with the tremendous wrestling background that Sheik has, sometimes we forget that he was an Olympic medalist coming out of Iran.
Yes, he was. Represented his country. Now posing instead of taking care of business. Dynamite needs to get over and make a tag very badly here before it's too late. Slingshot in. Oh, he caught him. Caught him in the midst of trying to plant that boot. Atomic drop coming up. Yes, he nailed him with it. Go ahead, do it. Waited too long, got caught from behind by Nikolai.
That's one thing Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik do very well.
He who hesitates is lost, especially in professional wrestling.
Especially here in the World Wrestling Federation, where the competition in the tag team picture is definitely second to none.
Absolute fact. Action hot and heavy here in the Summit, Houston, Texas. Look out, caught in the big bear hug. Could be all over right here. Nikolai can put that on with those python-like arms of his. Squeeze the air right out of you.
Dynamite Kid has been in that ring a long, long time, while Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik have had the opportunity to gain a number of tags. They're fairly fresh.
He's a long way from his own corner. Chant going out USA, but he's not able to reach it.
And believe me, when you're in...
Wow, talk about battles. This certainly is one. A golden opportunity indeed for the former champions Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik to once again get their hands on that most coveted title, World Wrestling Federation Tag Team title. We'll be back with the conclusion of this match in just a moment.
You know what I think? What?
Well, we're just about set to go back to the Houston Summit for this. What is this?
Hello.
Tremendous tag team matchup here that's going down. In
Hello.
fact, it is in fact a golden opportunity.
Hello.
Are you having problems again? Let's go back to the ring.
Hello.
Trouble inside the ring. 2 feet can seem like 25 yards from your partner.
Or 40. Rang the bell of the big Russian momentarily, but look at that double axe handle. Right to the thoracic area. That's what he's working on right now.
Goes right back to work on those ribs.
He's going to try to turn this into a pinhole here. Tremendous pressure being applied. He'll probably lay those shoulders down on the mat here once he feels he's got him just about out of it. There it is right there. The shoulders are down. 1, 2 count. No, the left one came up. Oh, look at this. Come on, ref. Take a look around.
For the moment, Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik very close to regaining the Tag Team Championship.
Title definitely on the line here in the Summit.
A lot of
caught him. Made him break the hold, but not before he planted one right in the lower abdomen. Turn around, Di. You're headed in the wrong direction. He's high up there now. Look at this. He's slithering right down his back. Turns him over. He's got, oh, he's looking good. The legs were hooked there, but his legs weren't actually long enough to make that hook.
No. You know, Gorilla, a lot of people are beginning to wonder. You mentioned it earlier. Ever since winning the tag team title from the Dream Team in Chicago, the British Bulldogs have faced every single challenger that's been thrown up to them. And there are so many challenges for their belts here in the World Wrestling Federation. Sooner or later, that grind has got to take its toll.
Oh, absolutely, true. They've already had some very serious injuries. Look at this. Tremendous backdrop by the Sheik. Over for the cover. He's not going to get him that way either. Give me a break, Sheik.
Now, with his amateur background, why wouldn't he hook the leg?
Not thinking. Must be thinking all the time. This is definitely a thinking man's sport. Abdominal stretch not applied properly, I might add.
Doesn't have that upper leg hooked quite around him.
Nope. You lose all the effectiveness in the hold unless you can have that left leg draped and wrapped around the left leg. That's right. That's what happens when you don't have it. Dynamite tried to plant one, but Sheik wasn't hurt at all. Got out of there in a hurry.
At that point, Gorilla, Dynamite's best strategy might have been to head for Davey Boy and get a tag.
Absolutely. Gut-wrench suplex. He wouldn't have had to go through that. Uh-oh, look at this. He's setting him up for it. We've seen it thousands of times. Camel clutch. He's got it right in the center of the ring. Reeling back. Those fingers are locked in there. I believe we're going to have new champions here in the Summit.
You might be right.
Certainly looks that way. Fighting it, though, Dynamite Kid. Davey Boy pounding and screaming on the apron. Look out, he can't stand it anymore. Davey comes in and makes the save, or the title would have went right out the window.
I think that's something Davey Boy felt and realized he had to do, because remember, Volkov and Sheik had already been working on the lower back of the Dynamite Kid. It had to be weakened, and that camel clutch could well have done it.
Block of a suplex by Dynamite. I don't know where he got the suplex. Oh, there's that snap suplex of his own.
He doesn't know where he is.
He turned around, he saw him now. He knows which direction to go. He's trying to get over there. Sheik trying to stop him. He made the tag. Davey Boy's in. And Davey Boy, a house of fire. Look out. Rams them together. Davey Boy exploding here in the Summit. Oh, beautiful hip lock. Over for the cover. No way. Big Nikolai come in, grabbed his leg, made the save. Davey Boy wrapping him up once again. Big backdrop. Holy mackerel, was he up there. Over for the cover again, and Nikolai once again makes a save. And Hebner right over there on his case. And Sheik in once more. There's a sleeper by Davey Boy Smith right in the center of the ring. That's the third time that the Russian has stepped in.
Just blatantly.
Small package, got him hooked right in the center, and he comes in, and that's four.
4 times in a row.
What is it, 6 times and out? Power slam coming up. Compliments of Davey Boy Smith. Good night. Get the hot shower. Oh, come on.
Now, this is 5 times in a row. What more does referee Dave Hebner need?
Got caught. Can't go to the well too many times. This match should have been over a long time ago. Now it's Nikolai going to work once again on the back, but this time it's Davey Boy. Atomic drop, he nailed him with it right on that hip. Boy, that would keep me out for a month right now. Look at this. The power of the big Russian. Backbreaker. Very dangerous maneuver. Dynamite comes in. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I guess. And look at the Sheik complaining. What is he complaining about?
Nikolai Volkov does it 6 straight times, and Sheik takes exception with.
Oh, look at that! From the top rope, drop kick on the back. He's gonna get him. I don't believe it.
Now wait till the Iron Sheik turns around. There you see the speed, the quickness, the teamwork that we talked about, and the big reason that the British Bulldogs, Dynamite and Davey Boy, are tag team champions.
British Bulldogs successfully holding on to their title here in the Summit, and the Slickster really been out of shape. Look at this now. We can't see it in our picture, but there it is. Dynamite off that top turnbuckle with a drop kick right in the back of his own partner, then scooted out under the bottom ropes, and the big Russian got caught with a 3 count. Slickster very unhappy, but we'll be back here in the Summit.
Well, it looks like Dave Hebner might have been taking some lessons from one Danny Davis.
That doesn't concern me.
Well, it doesn't concern you?
No, I don't care what Dave Hebner, Danny Davis, or anybody else does.
Well, it would if your men were in the ring.
Yes,
would
it
not?
would. Yes, it would concern me.
Well, then how can you take such a passive attitude? Would you like to answer some yes and no questions? With simple
Certainly.
yes and no?
But I have a call to make first.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's busy tied up on a phone, we'll go into some other interesting matchups that we have this week here
Can I
on
get a
Prime
line
Time.
outside here?
It's just push the right button and you get your outside line.
The call just came a minute ago.
Yeah.
There was nobody on it.
Well, that's what happens.
Piece
We're
of
going to be
junk.
bringing you up to date later on in the program about all the activities going on here in the World Wrestling Federation, and we have quite a few, one of which, of course, is the reinstatement of Andre the Giant, and that's what we're going to try to get the Brain to give us some insight, because he was at the reinstatement hearing. Well, we're back, folks, and you know, during the break, Bobby and I were talking about how serious the injuries are in the world of professional wrestling, and if you don't think that can instill some fear into you, take a look on the face here of one Chief J. Strongbow, who's about to go out of the ring upside down, fearing for his life. Do you know who his latest partner was, Bobby?
His latest partner?
Yes.
Chief J. Strongbow?
Too late.
Let's see.
Steve Gatorwolf. That's who's coming up in our next match. Steve Gatorwolf against the Natural.
No
Butch
wonder he
Reed.
looks has the
Let's go
look
to
of
the
fear
match.
on his face.
Broken in 3 different places,
Care
and you
of my
know
friend
why.
Matilda.
Yeah, I think about as much as her as I think of you, brother.
Well, let me ask you this, Slick. What kind of a deal is this? Your guy jumped his opponent,
First
jumped
of all-
before the bell even
First
rang.
of all, you know that Indian's been drinking, and you know how they are once they get a little liquor in him. But don't worry, them Naturals got everything under control. Look at that, Daddy. That's where he's going to spend the rest of the night, right on his back.
I tell you what, you best leave or you'll have the other arm in the sling.
I was going to say, Gorilla, the Doctor of Style, Slick, didn't exactly look like he was in any position to argue with you.
Wow. Matilda really did a number on him.
She really did.
Chased him right up the top rope and fell over backwards on his head and shoulder and broke his wrist in 3 different places. He fell on his head.
We don't take no prisoners, baby.
He fell on his head.
I understand he did some damage to the arena floor.
The Natural making waves here in the World Wrestling Federation said he's here for one reason only, and that is that the greatest titles at stake are right here in the World Wrestling Federation.
He's made no bones about the fact that he wants it. The heavyweight champion, Hulk Hogan, and he certainly has the temperament, Gorilla.
2 count. No, 1.5.
I remember Butch Reed when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs in the National Football League, and on their specialty teams, he was known as a headhunter, and he did indeed live up to his nickname.
He was nasty then, too.
He had a
He's just a naturally nasty guy. Reverse double chin lock now, planting that left knee. Oh, look at this, a little help from the outside by the Slickster, a little added leverage there. He's been able to get the other arm broken to keep moving around.
Now stands there with a look of innocence on his face as if to say, who, me?
The manager has a license to stay at ringside, but not to become involved in the match.
Exactly.
Look at this.
Going right at it again.
Referee's going to make a break the hole. A gold star for a referee.
Very alert job because Butch Reed was doing everything he could to keep him out of position.
Clayton chokehold now, referee laying the count on him once again. Gatorwolf never got underway in this match.
Butch Reed is a master. He will make the referee count to 4.5 before he breaks that hold, and even though he breaks it, the damage has been done.
Well, somebody's going to get surprised. The bell's going to ring on 4 and it's going to be over. He's going to go home with the short end of the money and a loss in the record books. We don't have to invite him over. We can hear him from there.
Exactly. And he is never, the Doctor of Style is never at a loss for words. Look at the upper body strength in the National Butch Reed.
Gatorwolf, former partner of Chief J. Strongbow, certainly picked up a lot of things I know from the Chief. 2 elbows in there, that's enough to break the hold. Look at him, shoulder block, down he goes. Natural up quickly though. Oh. Timing was perfect on that. Got him coming full speed ahead.
You see the Doctor of Style enjoyed that. If Gatorwolf can get enough going in this match, you know, he has some lethal chops that I would be very interested to see how the Natural Butch Reed would react if Gatorwolf is allowed to deliver 3 or 4 of those to his sternum area.
Be interesting to see. He had a little momentum going for himself there just for a moment, but got up so quickly off of that shoulder block that Gator Wolf never suspected it.
You can't take anything away from Butch
Oh,
Reed.
neck breaker.
He is in tip-top
Said
physical
headache,
condition.
very nonchalant cover there. Not complaining about the count. No reason to complain over the shoulder of the slickster as to what's going on here in the Summit.
I think what happened, Gorilla, the natural Butch Reed was so confident that Gator Wolf was out, he thought all he had to do was just slightly lay across him. It would be a count of 3, but he has found out differently.
Can't do that.
Butch Reed,
You got the opportunity to beat somebody. You beat him the best way you know how, Kenny, because if you don't, later on in the match, they're going to come back and beat you.
I've seen it countless times where a man will feel that he has his opponent so badly beaten, he will purposely pick his opponent's shoulder up at the count of 2, hopefully to do more damage. And as you say, very suddenly, things are reversed and he finds himself beaten when he could have easily won the match moments before.
Happens all the time.
Butch Reed, of course, known for the clothesline, a clothesline he made famous on the fields of the National Football League.
Certainly is someone to reckon with here in the World Wrestling Fair. Oh, look at this. Gator Wolf. Oh, there's a chop. Irish quickly. Look out. Perhaps a run up. Yes, reverse leg. Sends a natural down. There's a little war dance going on. Chief is hotting on the warpath. He's exploding. Double chop. And another one. Sets him up. Oh, reversal. Reed quickly threw him in. Look out. Oh, tried to plant him right down the center of the ring. Drops the elbow. Slickster pointing to the top. Wants him to go up to the top rope. He's up on the second rope on the inside. Waiting for the proper moment. Oh, there's that clothesline we talked about earlier on. Hooks the leg. Good night.
Exactly. Good night, Irene. Gorilla, I don't think I've seen anyone get his shoulder up before the count of 3 when the natural Butch Reed takes that flying clothesline off the top rope. You see Slick enjoying it.
Tremendous amount of pressure and effort involved in that particular move.
And your winner, the natural Butch Reed.
Butch Reed chalking up one and a high five from the Slickster. Let's go back and take a look. Look at this. He's just biding his time up there. And now there it comes. It wasn't so much the clothesline as the back of the head whipping into the mat cover. There's nothing under there but steel and wood and an easy 3 count. On to victory here in the Summit. The natural Butch Reed will be back.
Wow. He is an impressive individual. However, I think that all the years that Chief Jay Strongbow showed me that superior ability that he had inside the squared circle, not a whole lot of it rubbed off on Gator Wolf, did it?
Well, you can't teach a new Indian old tricks or something like that.
Well, something like that.
You know,
but
a dog can only wag his tail as long as he's part Apache.
how effective? Here's a
don't know
question
what
for
that
you,
means.
Bobby. How effective can a manager be when he has so many guys in his stable that are completely different in their outlooks and their approaches to the ring?
Well, that makes it easier. It's harder when they're all the same, trying to blend them that way. When they're different, that's easy. Now, if you have brains, you can control any situation,
Well,
anybody.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Slick right now.
Oh, well, God knows his mentality. But he does pretty well for himself, you know.
Well,
He has a history of managing through his whole family.
I understand
They
that. And
manage
even
back
if he
and-
didn't do well, he's got enough of your money to do well, right?
And I got Hercules Hernandez.
We'll be back right after this very
everything I
interesting
need.
interview.
Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much, my friend Gorilla. And of course, least we forget, and certainly do want to acknowledge Bobby the Brain Heenan as well. Now, as we have talked about so many times, the year 1986 saw a number of very surprising incidents take place here in the World Wrestling Federation. In one man who literally burst upon the scene with some very unusual ramifications. The man who calls himself the Doctor of Style, Slick, and Slick very quickly to summarize what you have done so far in 1986. First, when you came upon the scene, surprised a lot of people by purchasing the contracts of Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, and Hercules Hernandez from Classy Freddie Blassie. Then subsequently turning around, selling the contract of Hercules to Bobby the Brain Heenan for, as what we know now, still an unnamed sum of money. And then you surprised a lot of people once again by bringing in the natural Butch Reed. I guess I'd like to ask you first off how you feel those transactions worked out for you and what can we look for in the year 1987?
Make no doubt about it, Killer Ken. Heads are turning. People are stopping still, dead in their tracks. And everybody wants to know who is this new dude here on the scene. Well, let me tell you something. In addition to being the first black manager in professional wrestling and the very best manager, bar none, in professional wrestling today, I am the man, brother, that's going to outdo, I'm going to surpass and outclass everything that any manager has ever done in professional wrestling. I'm going to lead Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik to the World Tag Team Championship, and my main man, the Natural Butch Reed, is going to be the first black heavyweight champion of the world.
Dr. Estelle, one quick final question. Any word on when the cast that you received courtesy of Matilda...
Don't worry about it! I'm going to get that money if it's the last thing I ever do in my illustrious life.
We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this.
As we promised you earlier on, it's time in the program to bring you up to date on some of the happenings here in the World Wrestling Federation. One of the hottest items going down currently, of course, the situation with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and what the Macho or Not So Macho Man did to him. In
I
fact,
guess it's safe to say mum's the word, huh?
Well, maybe temporarily mum's the word. We're going to get a special update on that as Gene Okerlund meets with Dr. Panovich, who's taking care of the Dragon. And let's go to that piece of footage and find out what the situation is.
With me, once again, Dr. Bob Panovich, who is the Chief Physician for the World Wrestling Federation. I'm looking, Doctor, for a physical status report on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What is the latest?
Gene, I'm amazed at the man's recuperative abilities. He's had an amazing recovery at this point from his initial injuries.
I think a lot of that is due to the tremendous heart of Ricky Steamboat and certainly the phenomenal physical condition that he is in.
I'm absolutely sure of that fact. I think he's in such good condition that he had this remarkable recovery because of that fact.
Now, Ricky Steamboat has vowed to return to the ring, and I'm very curious, Doctor, what would the possible consequences be if he should ever be struck in that area of the throat of the larynx?
I worry about that, Gene. I think that area has been weakened, and I think another blow to that area could be very disastrous to his career, and perhaps even fatal.
That does not sound good. I thank you, however, for that information, Dr. Bob Panovich.
Well, that's a surprising turn of events. Things looking up for the Dragon, really.
I wouldn't let that doctor change my lug nuts on my rolls.
Why? Well, what makes you say that?
I don't know. Anybody would work on Steamboat has got to be looking for work.
You know, his main concern was that if he got hit again in that particular area, that, you know, severe damage could be done. But
well, Steamboat, if he's dumb enough to get back into the ring, if he's dumb enough to ever make it back, naturally everybody's going to go for the throat.
That's his whole life. The ring is his whole life. We asked Savage what he thought about the situation. Let's get a statement from him.
Poor little baby dragon can't talk. Sign language is for little kids. How's this one for your career? And if you ever want to go against the Macho Man again, how's this one?
Oh, please. Were you coaching him?
No, I have nothing to do with this situation. That's between them. I just stay neutral.
You found it hilarious, though.
Well, I enjoy the sound effects, yes.
I'll tell you what, I would not want to be in the shoes of one Randy Savage if, in fact, the Dragon decides
I don't blame you.
You
wear about a 17, he wears about a 12.
Well, that's not the point. The point is that this guy's going to have to pay one way or another somewhere down the road. If it's not the Dragon, it'll
finished.
be somebody else.
The Dragon, it's all over.
The World Wrestling Federation is, in fact, a worldwide organization. We've had many matches this week here on Prime Time from all over the place, Houston, and now we're going to go to South Bend, Indiana for this particular matchup. And some of the expert commentary of some of your friends, Vincent McMahon, Jesse the Body Ventura, the living legend, Bruno Sammartino. I know you always have good things to say about them.
Oh, I like Bruno. I like to listen to a guy talk with about 6 pounds of Stromboli in his mouth.
Opposition, Dick Slater, let's go.
I'm on the phone.
Go ahead.
Well, let's hope Davis calls this one fair and square right down the line.
He'll do his normal fine job.
Nice maneuver on the part of Jake the Snake. Hooks the arm, nice takedown on the part of Slater.
This is going to be a great matchup. Both these guys are tough as nails, man.
Both well experienced. And again, Slater takes Jake the Snake over. The rebel Dick Slater loves to get back down, right around in his pickup truck. Even named his truck, I believe. However, right now, there's an arm drag takedown from Jake. To the rope, Slater, end off. goes Jake. Slater now with the leg. Brings Jake the Snake out. Jake hanging onto the rope. Referee there.
Whoa. And that's a good call. No, that's a good call. Jake the Snake was in the ropes, and a legal break never took place. Am I correct? Yes, I am.
All right, technically you're correct.
That's right. Well, technically is what it's all about. What is it, like football? It was kind of clipping?
No, not so much that, Jesse. But again, you're always talking about Danny Davis allowing the wrestlers to really go at it in a wrestling-like fashion. I mean, and now it's not a big infraction, was it?
And now, because he's adhering strictly to the rules, you're unhappy with that too now. How does Danny Davis please you and Bruno?
By doing his job, Jesse, by doing his job.
That's right, and that's what he did. A legal break had to take place there, which it didn't happen. And he made Slater break the hold, which was correct.
Now, I don't understand why Slater wouldn't move in on Jake. Jake obviously favoring his left leg a moment ago. Nonetheless, moving in now, standing side headlock. And Jake the Snake whipped to the rope and headed off over Slater. And again, the knee gives out a bit.
Whoa.
Slater going right after it, too. Going right after it.
The Snake obviously with a knee, a bad knee problem there. He can't put weight on it.
Thus far, Jake has really not used Damien, if that's who it is. If there is indeed a snake in that bag this week, he really hasn't been making an attempt to go over to the bag to worry Slater about what's in the bag in terms of intimidation.
Well, that may be one of the big reasons why Slater's had the advantage so far.
Jake, a master of intimidation, either with or without what's ever in that bag. Kick out by Slater. By Jake, rather. And another one. Oh, look at that.
And that'll buy him a little time.
That may buy him the match. Slater took a pretty nasty spill there. Over the top rope, back in, and Jake catches him now. Has him up in the air.
Ooh, he couldn't even pick him up.
No. Neck breaker.
Jake the Snake is in trouble.
Slater going up to the top rope. Elbow to the head of Jake the Snake. Covered by Dick Slater. 1, 2, and...
Oh, wait. Danny Davis said his foot was on the rope.
It's too late. He counted to 3. Once you count to 3, the match is over.
I don't think that's the case. I think Davis counted to 3. Oh, come on. A short clothesline. Jake is famous for. Oh, no. Is he going up to the bag? Look at this.
I'll tell you what's happened is, as the match just continues, I guess, right?
I don't think so. I think the match is over. Jake with a snake, and he's coming right. Oh, my. Why is the referee getting involved there? Why?
Whoa. Now Slater might be facing suspension for that.
I think you might be right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has awarded this bout due to a disqualification to Jake the Snake Roberts.
What a nasty looking snake.
You don't put your hands on a referee.
Well, that is true. I think perhaps even as well-deserving as it might be. Let's go back. Here, Bruno, take a look at it. Let's do some counting here.
Look at this. Now watch this. This
there,
is
the foot's on the rope.
Yeah, the foot was on the rope, but the count had already been to 3, and once a count is made at 3, that is the end of the match. I'll tell you, Slater really got robbed again by Danny Davis, but then what's new?
And from there, here's even more action now. Jake is going to take that snake and put it all over. Slater spins around. Slater gives him a chop, and there immediately the referee backs him over, Bruno.
Indeed, and that's why Slater threw him off. He had to look at this. What referee's business doing this?
I don't know, but there could be some action taken against him.
Wow, another dubious decision by the infamous Danny Davis. Would you call that a fair job of refereeing?
Yes, I'll tell you why. Right now they're using the instant replay in football. Okay, Danny Davis, he counted to 3, then he noticed the man's foot was out. He wanted to be fair, continue wrestling. I think that was fair what he did.
No, that's not the way it works. It's a referee's job to know where the men are in position in the ring before he begins any kind of a count.
You only have 2 eyes. You do the best you can. He's just trying to be fair.
If a guy's shoulders are down, you go down and you start a count. At the same time as you're watching his shoulders, you're looking to see where they are position-wise inside that ring.
It's a rough job, I know
This guy is about to be excommunicated from the world of professional wrestling, I think.
Slater?
No.
Oh.
Danny Davis.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know anything about
Your
that.
good friend.
It's not
Mr.
a good friend
Jack
of
Tunney.
mine. Well, he's definitely not a good friend of mine.
The president of the World Wrestling Federation
Speaking
is
about Jack
really
Tunney, I had a
looking at
meeting
this
with Jack
situation.
Tunney.
We'll be back right after this.
Don't wanna hear about it.
We're back, fans. Just before we went to break, you mentioned something that you were going to tell us about the reinstatement hearing with Jack Tunney. Did you not?
Okay. You want to get to the bottom of it?
That's what we've been trying to do for the last month.
Let's make it very simple. On the date the hearing was scheduled in Toronto at Jack Tunney's office, the president of the World Wrestling Federation, I was called, and when I landed in Toronto, the limousine that was there to pick me up, I went downstairs, got my luggage. Well, we don't have time.
We've got to go to the ring. We'll be back, though.
From parts unknown, weighing 280 pounds, Moondog Spot. And his opponent, from Tampa, Florida, weighing 275 pounds, Dan Spivey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful summit here in Houston, Texas. Gorilla Monsoon at ringside, joined by my good friend and colleague, Ken Resnick. Another beautiful night in Houston.
It certainly is, Gorilla, and a beautiful night, and what a beautiful building this summit is indeed.
Well, if you had a chance to walk around here earlier on, I understand that this is really spectacular.
It really is. The outer concourse is much like a lobby you'd find in the nicest hotels in the country.
Well, tremendous matchups, as always, right here in the World Wrestling Federation, and this one no exception. Straight out of a very serious knee injury, which I thought might have really curtailed the career.
Put your phone over, you're going out of here.
I'm a little bit surprised. You know, I thought Danny Spivey, coming off that knee injury, would be a bit rusty and would probably like to come back in a tag team battle. Of course, Danny, one half of the U.S. Express, along with Mike Rotundo, to give him a chance to catch a breather or two in tag team competition, but I guess he decided to test it right out of the chute and go single competition, and Moondog Spot is certainly no slouch.
Well, this is not the first time that I've seen the youngster back since the injury, and he seems to be stomping around pretty good on that leg.
Well, it's like they say, when you're thrown off a horse, the best thing you can do is get right back on.
Absolutely.
You know better than anyone, if you're climbing a professional wrestling ring and you're a little unsure about any part of your anatomy, you could be in for very serious trouble.
Well, it plays on you mentally. And when you're in there with a guy like Spotty, you need to be thinking 100% of what's going on inside that squared circle, not worrying about some previous injury. Drop down in front, over the top, Spivey, look out. Oh, he didn't even have to jump up to do that. Didn't even have to jump in the air to do that leapfrog, just raised one leg.
Well, I think Moondog Spot was hoping to go for a back body drop. Telegraphed it a little bit, was down, and Danny, of course, stands a good deal taller than Moondog Spot. And one thing, looking at Dan Spivey, the layoff hasn't hurt him at all. He's in excellent physical condition.
Oh, he certainly is. He always stays in great shape. He and his partner, Mike Rotundo, the All-American out of Syracuse University, maintain tremendous physical condition. If you want to be successful in this particular profession, you had better.
No question about it. And talking about Danny Spivey and Mike Rotundo, a lot of the tag teams here in the World Wrestling Federation are keeping a very watchful eye on the U.S. Express.
They certainly are. Of course, hot and heavy is the tag team action here in the World Wrestling Federation, with the British Bulldogs at the helm, and everybody's shooting for their title with their new mascot, Matilda.
Matilda.
She's a piece of work.
Matilda, indeed. I'll tell you, it's very interesting. Dynamite Kid has a very, shall we say, close relationship. He thinks nothing of asking Matilda for advice, and she answers him.
Oh, well, I'll have to pass on that one, Kenny. I know Dynamite does some strange things. Nice armbar here by the youngster Danny Spivey. Of course, Moondog Spot himself, one-time co-holder of the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team title.
Very good point, Drew, and I think that's a fact sometimes we as broadcasters overlook, and the Moondogs are as tough as they can.
Reversal and hard into the turnbuckle goes Spotty. Things not looking too well for him right at this particular point in time here in the Summit. And look at the pressure involved here with the additional height advantage of Danny Spivey. Really putting it on the wrist, elbow, shoulder, causing extreme pain, excruciating, as you can see on the face of Spotty. Coming close to the right time of year for him. He'd make a good Santa Claus, Kenny.
That he would. That he would.
Macy's or somebody would get a hold of him.
And he seems really wouldn't need the extra pillow in front.
No, definitely not.
Although I think right now Moondog Spot would like to be in the ring with Santa Claus rather than Golden Boy Danny Spivey. One thing I've noticed in the past few months, Gorilla, it seems Danny has gained a great deal more confidence. Now when he has his opponent, if you will, on the ropes, he doesn't let up. He goes right back after him and just doesn't give him a chance to catch his breath.
Absolutely. In fact, he was a little hesitant when he first came here to the World Wrestling Federation. And, you know, I can make excuses for him along those lines. I can rationalize with him because this is what, look at that beautiful power slam. And right back to that arm drag, keep that continuity going. And he's right back on that. Oh, look at Spotty. Easiest way to break any hold.
Alert move, like it or not. It
when
does
you
break
come
the
here,
hold.
excuse me, Kenny, when you come here, it's got to be, I don't know, an awesome feeling to know that you're here in the mecca of all professional wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation, where the greatest caliber of talent in the world is. And here you are, never been here before, you don't know anybody, you don't know, you think you don't know anything, so a lot of times you're afraid to do things.
You know, I would assume that when Danny Spivey teamed up with Mike Rotundo, of course, Mike Rotundo, as crafty a veteran as there is, and also at one time co-holder of the Tag Team Championship, that probably, Mike has taken the opportunity, I would imagine, to impart a good deal of his wisdom on Danny Spivey.
Certainly did. Look at this, Spotty on the second turnbuckle on the inside. It's a long way down, perhaps. Oh, right to the side of the ear. Over for the cover. Could be all over right here. 1-2. No. Couldn't hold a big guy down. He didn't really hook a leg or anything.
I think right now Danny Spivey is going to have to call on all of the wisdom he has picked up from Mike Rotundo and anyone else because he's in some trouble.
Well, Spotty is relentless once he gets the upper hand on you. He never stops. Oh, he went in hard. The whole ring just shifted about 4 or 5 inches. Snap marrying him out of the corner. And right to that reverse chin lock. A favorite of Spotty's. Of course, he's come a long way in the World Wrestling Federation, being that he was the runt of the litter. You know, 5, I think there were 5 of them all together, Moondogs.
At one point in time. Although Moondog's Spot at 280 pounds could hardly be considered to be a very big litter.
The other ones were all well over that 300-pound mark. You can see Spivey gasping for a little air in there.
Now here it looks at Gorilla. Besides the reverse chinlock, Moondog Spot is laying all his weight right across the shoulders of Golden Boy Danny Spivey. Danny's probably, his best move would be to get to his feet as he's doing.
Well, that's the way to break the momentum of this hold. That downward pressure can become very detrimental to you, especially when the lights start to go out. Spotty remaining behind him, but Spivey to one knee. He's got to get to his feet. That 6'8" frame will help a lot once he gets up there. Now he's got to come out of there. Elbow to the midsection, not enough to break it. Second one did. Look out. Drop down quickly over the top. Oh, nice timing there by Spotty as he caught the big guy coming in. 2 count again. No. I never waited for a 2 count. When I heard 1, or before I heard anything, I was coming out of there, if I was at all able.
Yeah, that's one point during a wrestling match. You don't want to try and catch a little breather.
Down on the concrete floor, not the place to be here in the Summit in Houston, Texas. the Golden Boy, Danny Spivey. Of course, we have another Golden Boy around the World Wrestling Federation for quite a number of years in one Arnold Skaaland.
Still is a Golden Boy.
Still is the Golden Boy.
So, yeah, there's one man had the opportunity to see him last week, and he doesn't seem to ever age.
Uh-oh, again. Oh, caught him once more right in the sternum area. Over again, but still again. Doesn't bother to hook a leg or hook an arm up or anything. Now he's going after the referee, Dave Hebner, questioning the slow count. There wasn't a slow count.
Now this is the second time, Gorilla. Moondog Spot may well have had Danny Spivey if he hooked a leg.
Went to the well one too many times. Caught that size 15 Triple E right in the kisser. Both men right for the picking right now, Ken.
Boy, they are. It's been a very torrid pace in this match since the opening bell. And Danny Spivey returns the favor, going right to the breadbasket.
Uh-oh, elbow, one of his favorites, and another one. Uh-oh, tied up at the mercy now. Referee trying to get him out of there. In the meantime, he's the recipient of some big left hands. Irish whipping. Oh, the big guy got the frame up there. Nice drop kick. Over for the cover, hooks the leg, but nope, body gets out. Snuck out the back door.
Well, Gorilla, you certainly know how important momentum is during the course of a wrestling match, and momentum, as they say, has certainly shifted in the last minute or so.
Boy, it certainly has. All going Spivey's way right now. Uh-oh. Going after the whiskers. Spotty not exactly sure where he is right now. Flat on the canvas.
Not sure where he is, but he knows he'd like to be any place but where he is.
Any place but here. Another slam. Spivey with a big leg drop. Hooks the leg, 1, 2, no. Left arm came shooting out of there. Gonna try it once more. Oh, put his head down. Can't do that with a ring veteran like Moondog Spot. And Spotty now, how quickly the tide can turn. Elbow, no, he caught him right in midair with a bulldog. Over, hooks the leg, 1, 2, yes, he got it.
Now, Gorilla, as we talked about earlier in the match, a few months ago, I don't think Danny Spivey would have had the confidence to try that maneuver.
Boy, that takes tremendous timing. In fact, to do that, let's go up and get the official word.
And the winner, Dan Spivey.
Chalking up a victory in single competition here in Houston, Texas in the Summit. Let's go back and take a look at how the big youngster did it.
Right off, he saw Moondog Spot going for the elbow. Danny alertly grabbed him, bulldogged him right to the mat. And it was right about here, Gorilla. We all knew you could turn out the lights for Moondog Spot because the party was over in a 1, 2, 3.
Very impressive victory for that man right there, the Golden Boy, Danny Spivey, here in the Summit. We'll be back.
Nothing wrong with the leg of the Golden Boy, Danny Spivey. Let me set the scene for you. Location, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The Royal York Hotel, conference room, purpose of the meeting, reinstatement hearing for Andre the Giant. People on hand, WWF President Jack Tunney, along with yourself.
Where's your trench coat?
Where's my trench coat?
Excuse me.
Come on, give me a
Hello.
break. What went down at the hearing meeting?
Hello.
You have more trouble with telephones than any 5 people that I know.
I'm expecting an important call, so I can clear. Hello. So I can clear this whole thing up with you. If you, why is this thing ringing and I've got the receiver off the hook?
Highly unlikely that we're ever going to get to the bottom of what transpired at the reinstatement hearing of Andre the Giant. But in fact, the good news is that Andre the Giant has been reinstated to the World Wrestling Federation.
I got a phone here that's ringing.
We'll be back in just a moment with the adorable one.
I know what I'm doing.
You think you know what you're doing. You have more problems than any 6 people that I know.
This is a piece of junk right here, right now.
I can't. That's not
First phone I had was perfect. Worked fine.
Adrian Adonis, returning here to the World Wrestling Federation. I thought we'd seen the last of the adorable one. However, we have not.
Why would you want to see the last of Adrian Adonis?
Well, because in my opinion, the guy's a piece of garbage.
Oh, just like that, he's a piece of garbage.
That's the way he comes across. He's a tremendous wrestler in his own right.
He's a very vicious man.
That's about where it ends. Let's see what he can do with Special Delivery Jones.
From Antigua in the West Indies, weighing 254 pounds, SD Special Delivery Jones. Soon to be making his way to the ring area, along with his manager, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. From New York City, weighing 294 pounds, adorable Adrian Adonis.
Returning here to Wrestling Challenge, Adrian Adonis in all his glory, along with the Mouth of the South, and Jimmy Hart. Sprained that horrible whatever it is all over the place.
I kind of like that perfume.
You like it? You would.
I don't like perfume, but if I did like perfume, I like that
weasels
perfume.
sort of smell like that anyway.
I wouldn't know. I've never been around one.
Yeah, tell me about it. Look at this. Oh, spraying everything. Turnbuckles, referees.
But Adrian is a clothes horse, isn't he? He has his own style.
Yeah, he sure does. Look at it. He doesn't have $39 worth of stuff on, including the velvet robe, so to speak.
But what are they cheering?
They're chanting Roddy right now, as we all know what went down in Piper's pit recently. As Adrian put the sleeper on Roddy from the backside, I might add.
Didn't Roddy have a hold of his manager? He has no business to put his hand on a man like that.
You know something, that heart scent that he's using out there stinks.
It's a little strong, but kind of pleasant.
You would like it. SD Jones didn't get a chance to mount any kind of offense as Adrian right on his case.
You know,
I don't care what you say about Adrian Adonis. There's no denying the man's wrestling.
He's more vicious than he's ever been. You got to agree with me on that one.
He is a vicious individual, and he has all the tools, knows how to do it all, and can do pretty much whatever he wants to do in the realm of professional wrestling. Uh-oh, this crowd coming to life. Something's going on. His capacity turnout is on their feet. What are they looking at?
I can't see Monsoon from where I'm at.
Myself yet. Oh, there he is.
Now, he's got no business out here in the crowd.
Roddy Piper, did you see the look on his face? Obviously, Adonis was distracted as SD Jones is mounting his offense.
What's he doing out here? The man is not a licensed manager. He doesn't belong there.
Hey, maybe he bought a ticket.
Bought a ticket? He must have bought a ticket. He must have a seat. What is he doing?
He's entitled to come out here and take a look at the happenings, what's going on.
I'll tell you, he messes with Adonis, he's going to go back on the stretcher.
Once again, Adonis in control of the matchup, but having to keep an eye right now on the rowdy one, Roddy Piper, as a chant goes out from this capacity crowd. Roddy, and look at Adrian. He's looking both ways.
Well, you got to, Monsoon. Piper's a sick man, you know. Hey. Goes through his mind, he's a very dangerous person.
Adonis has got a manager. Why can't his manager keep an eye on Piper if he's worried about it?
Don't make excuses for the man.
Roddy inching his way closer to the squared circle as Adonis continues to unload on Special Delivery Jones.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Roddy is getting closer and closer to the ring. Look at this. Adrian had to turn his back. Hey, roll up from the backside, 2 count. Nice move by Jones as Adonis was distracted. Uh-oh, look out. SD got ready. Roddy comes in. Oh, and unloads with lefts and rights. The bell is ringing. And Piper's gone bananas. He couldn't take it anymore. Look at the Mouth of the South cringing like a coward.
Oh, you better get a bunch of guys to separate him.
Here comes a whole bunch of help from the locker room area. As pandemonium erupts here this week. Wow. Roddy went bananas.
I've never seen so many guys in one ring at a time.
Everybody's separated right now. Look at this. Roddy breaks loose from 5 guys that were holding him. He wants Adonis in the worst way. Look at this. 2, 4, 6 guys. 8 guys. Oh, what a cheap shot.
Cheap shot? What did Piper try to do? He's the one that jumped into the ring.
Let's find out what happened in this match.
Due to outside interference, the winner of this bout resulting from a disqualification, adorable Adrian Adonis.
Good.
Well, Adonis is going to get the Duke in the record books for outside interference, but there was no containing Roddy Piper in this one.
He's going after him. He's going to go all the way back.
He wants him, and he wants him bad. Look at the look of determination. 8 guys in there couldn't hold on to him.
It's going right to the parking lot, Monsoon.
Piper headed for the locker room area, hot on the trail of Adrian Adonis. Boy, there's a vendetta brewing here. You can bet we haven't seen the last of this confrontation between these two. The referee got knocked silly as well. Let's go back and take a look at the mayhem.
There, Adrian's got a match. He's involved in a match with SD Jones. He's not bothering anybody. There, comes in out of nowhere. Piper should be, not only should he be fined, he should be suspended from professional wrestling. The referee made a fine decision. He awarded the match to Adrian Adonis. Piper's got no reason to do this.
Boy, you're quick to eliminate guys from the World Wrestling Federation. Glad you're not the president. Roddy Piper exploding. All kinds of help had to come from the locker room area to separate these two brawlers. And look at the look on the face of Roddy Piper as he wants a piece of Adrian Adonis in the worst way.
It's not over yet.
Plenty more still to come. We'll be back after this.
Do you think that the adrenaline was flowing through the veins of Roddy Piper or not?
Well, like I said during that commentary, he's a sick man. He doesn't know what goes. He gets that sharp burning pain in the back of his head and just snaps. Shouldn't be in wrestling. That guy's dangerous.
You know, I might add that that's Roddy Reindeer.
Roddy Reindeer?
Yeah, it's one of the gifts for one of the...
Tis the season, I guess.
Well, we're coming to that. You know, I want you to know that unlike some of the things that you do, Roddy Piper went into his own pocket and paid SD Jones the winner's share of the purse money.
Oh, what a gesture.
Well,
that man ought to go down with
he didn't have to do that.
Jonas Salk. He maybe should get the Peace Award or something. Who cares? I'd like to get a new phone.
Well, we're going to try to get you one.
Well, I know how to fix that,
If you got any
pal.
friends, maybe you could do it.
This phone, as far as I'm concerned, this phone is history.
How are you going to call anybody now?
Couldn't call anybody when it was here before. What's the difference? I'm phoneless.
Well, earlier on we saw Spotty, who was not too successful.
That don't work either. Hello.
The Golden Boy, Danny Spivey. Now his partner, Rex, gets a chance at the All-American out of Syracuse.
Might as well bid farewell to Rodney Reindeer.
Mike Rotundo, let's go to the ring in Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing on my right, from parts unknown, weighing 285 pounds, Moondog Rex. And his opponent, from Syracuse, New York, weighing 245 pounds, Mike Rotundo.
Big hand from Mike Rotundo, the All-American out of Syracuse University. Gorilla Monsoon at ringside here in the Summit, Houston, Texas. Joining me, my good friend and colleague, Kenny Wrestling.
And Gorilla, it's certainly nice to be here with you
Well,
in
certainly
Houston.
a pleasure to have you here. I can't believe that Rex is down under the 300-pound mark.
Gorilla, he does look in a little better shape than we've seen him in the
He
past.
does. He definitely does, no question.
Gorilla, you've been around the World Wrestling Federation for a long time and certainly a man about town. Long time. Would you care to speculate as to the origin of that bone that Rex has in his hand?
Well, it's either brontosaurus or pterodactyl style bone, or probably the femur of a big steer, more likely. But he actually, you know, I saw him about 3 nights ago sitting in the dressing room, and he was chewing on it. Actually had it in his mouth. He's a sick person.
He's got to be, because for certain there's no meat left on it.
Just flavor, I guess. Oh, hanging it right above you, Kenny. I can smell it from here.
You don't have a bottle of cologne in your pocket that we can open, do you, Gorilla?
No, definitely not.
Mike Rotundo, All-American out of Syracuse University.
Boy, he could have went into a number of professional sports, and lucky for everyone that he chose the world of professional wrestling. Could have made it in football, baseball. He might wish before this one's over he went one of the other way. Plants one right into the lower abdomen. Nice knee lift. And Rex decides to take a little high steep on shot.
Mike Rotundo amplifies the term that we often use, truly an all-around athlete.
Boy, he is. He can do it all. And got that youth on his side, too.
And teaming with Golden Boy Danny Spivey, the U.S. Express.
Come on, ref.
How did that one get down?
Well, the ref asked Rotundo to do something, tuck a shoelace in or something. In the meantime, Rex planted one on him, and the referee let him get away with it.
You know, I was about to say the U.S. Express Gorilla, an up-and-coming team, but that's really not the case. They've arrived.
Oh, they're here.
In a big way.
They're here, full-fledged. Well, we've got some hot teams right now here in the World Wrestling Federation. I'll tell you, two guys that really impressed me is the Can-Am.
Well, I've known both Ricky Martel for a long time, and of course, Tom Zink grew up in my hometown, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tom Zink, a former Mr. Minnesota, and as you say, the teamwork, the size, the strength, the knowledge, that's a team that could go a long, long way here in the World Wrestling Federation.
They are exciting, and I love it when they come out.
And both as fine a gentlemen in and out of the ring as you would care to meet.
I know them both personally. Trouble is, neither one of them can get a date for Saturday night. I can never figure that out. No, I'm only kidding, Jay. Oh, look at this. Ramming his head right into the top turnbuckle. Rotundo now with a side headlock. You best try to slow this guy down, Mike, before you try to put him away, because he is a bigot.
Actually, Gorilla, that might be true, but it's a problem you and I don't have when you have about 40 or 50 to choose from. Sometimes it's just hard to make up your mind.
You're right. Mike maintaining control with this side headlock. Rex won't stay in this very long. Trying to get out.
Good job, held right on.
I never liked the side headlock. I always got out any way I could have been. I didn't want any cauliflower ears. Look at that move. Walked right up those corner ring ropes. Nice body momentum, easily taking over the big 300-pounder. Now 286. He lost 14 pounds. Probably went from elbow to kettle raise,
puppy chow,
whatever.
Trying to recapture his youth.
Handful of tights here. Well, actually, even if he did have a handful of tights, which he does once again, Rotundo in no danger of being pinned. If he wants to, all he has to do is turn loose of the headlock, and he's gone.
Mike's held on to that now for about 2 or 3 minutes. Moondog Rex may develop a case of cauliflower ear just here tonight in Houston.
Well, it's possible. Well, I've seen him come up overnight. About to get rid of him right here if he can. He's going to climb over that top rope. The referee will have to break it now. Oh, Rotundo's still dragging him in. Well, referee should break this. Guy was outside the ring.
Mike had other ideas. Now, this referee does not seem to be really taking control of the match so far. He's pretty much let both men get away with.
It helps to know the rules, Kenny. Look at this. He's climbed over again. The hole should be broken right now. He's going to make him break it now. Look out. He's going to drop the head first. Yeah.
He did his referee order. Broke the hole.
Did it the second time, yes. Rex not too happy about it. Came right down on his schnozola. Surprised the crimson is not flowing out of there.
I think Moondog Rex thinks the Northwestern Bell is calling because he's heard bells ringing somewhere.
He certainly doesn't have a whole lot of money tied up in ring attire, I'll tell you that. Got a rope hanging down there. Looks like an old clothesline. I can remember when the Moondogs didn't wear any shoes. They were barefoot.
Former tag team champions, but as you say, I think those jeans have seen their better days.
And when they were the tag team champions of the world, you know who their manager was? Captain Louis Albano.
Is that right?
Yes. The maker of 16 different pairs of champions here in the World Wrestling Federation, now retired.
Devoting full time to national chairman of multiple schools.
Doing a tremendous job. Elbow right into the sternum area, hooks the leg. Nope. Couldn't get him. He uncoiled with a kick out there that I think if Mike would have had a cradle on him, he wouldn't have held him down. Look at that kissing on Rex.
How's that expression go? A face truly only a mother would love. And there's a little question at that.
Yeah. Mother what? That's it. Gonna have to break it, Mike. Reluctantly, he knows he's in trouble here. Tough to get out of there without getting clobbered when a guy backs you in the corner that way.
Especially when you're in against one of the Moondogs.
Oh, you know you're gonna get it one way or the other. If you watch a guy's arms, he nails you with a leg, it's just, or he just whips his head back and catches you in the chin. It's a no-win situation. They're gonna exchange some blows here now. Let's see who comes out on top. Uh-oh. Drop kick right out of nowhere.
Standing drop kick and caught him right solid in the breadbasket.
Irish whip in. What's coming up? Oh, an elbow. Well placed. Referee counted one before he even looked to see if the shoulders were down. I guess he figured they were down. Put his head down. Can't make a mistake like that with a ring veteran. Like these Moondogs.
I think he telegraphed that one way too early.
Yeah, he looked down. Can't look down. You got to look, see where the guy's going. Neck breaker. Well executed. Got that left arm out of there already. He's not going to get him.
We'll get some.
So important to do the basic fundamental moves, especially if you want to beat somebody like a Mike Rotundo. If you don't do those basic fundamental moves, you're not going to beat anyone.
Exactly. You know Mike Rotundo comes to the ring as well conditioned as any man in the World Wrestling. And the way the U.S. Express has been going, a win here for Moondog Rex would go a long way to possibly getting the Moondogs another title shot at the British Bulldog.
Well, I don't think that the rules committee or the championship committee takes as close a look at individual single matches as they do as tags can, as far as determining who was going to be the #1 challenger for the current title held by the British Bulldogs. But it certainly doesn't help to have a loss either. Really going to work. He's got that powerful upper body. He's got a chin lock here, and he's really applying the pressure. Rotundo trying to come out of it with a standing wrist lock. Well, he was just about out, and a handful of hair just raked him down to the canvas. You can bet that somewhere within the building, the confines of the building, that the Golden Boys watching this as well as Spotty. Oh, they're both watching this now.
They're doing a great deal of scouting because it's not out of the realm of possibility that we would see the U.S. Express in the not too distant future against the Moondogs in a tag team match.
Or against the British Bulldogs. Or against the K&L. Or against the Sheik and Volta, or against the Dream Team. There's so many hot teams right here, right now, in the World Wrestling. Oh, look at this. Came right down. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but Rotundo brought those knees up right at the last second. That makes you old before your time. Those kind of moves right there. Got caught again. Rotundo unloading now with a heavy artillery. Oh, excuse me. Some nice chops. The ring just shifted.
You could see that right on the monitor. Get up! That gives you an idea of the force that Mike Rotundo sent Moondog Rex into the corner.
Lance one right in the back of the cranium. Nailed him right on the external occipital protuberance. Nice reversal. Watch out. Freight train coming. Leapfrog right out of there. Could be the beginning of the end here. Uh-oh. Airplane spin coming up. Favorite finishing maneuver of the All-American out of Syracuse, Rotundo. Dizzy is the Moondog. It's over.
Hooked the leg, around and around he went. Only Mike Rotundo knew where he was going to land.
Boy, it's tough. When you get up there, you're in a land of no return.
The winner, Mike Rotundo.
Mike Rotundo, very impressive victory here in the Summit in Houston. Look at this maneuver. Leapfrog right over the top. The big guy really took himself out of the picture, Kenny.
He did, went chin first into that turnbuckle.
Look at this, no hope for him here as Rotundo scoops him up just like he weighed 130 pounds. Gives him the old airplane spin.
Well, he did spin him around.
Hooks the leg for good measure, easy 3 count. Very impressive victory. We'll be back.
Showing you why, in fact, why indeed he was an All-American at Syracuse University, Mike Rotundo.
Anybody could be an All-American at Syracuse.
Please.
It's not a major
Were you
college.
ever an All-American? In anything?
Yes.
What? Advanced knife throwing? Underwater sand piling? What? What were you?
Refuse to discuss this with you now.
Oh. Let me ask you this then, if you don't want to discuss that, maybe you want to discuss this. At the reinstatement hearing where Andre was reinstated and you and Jack Tunney were there, was Danny Davis discussed at that same hearing?
Okay, you want to talk about it? I'll talk about it with you. The reason I wasn't an All-American is because I didn't go out
I'm talking about the hearing. The All-American story is over.
You just asked me about being an All-American in Syracuse. I never went to Syracuse. I went to college in California.
You did, in fact, go to Toronto, though. You were present at the hearing.
I never went to school in Toronto.
You're a liar.
We'll
be back with our feature in just a moment.
People know I didn't go to school in Toronto.
Prime time, feature time here this week, and most unusual, well, not really unusual to see this caliber of match take place because both of these teams vying for that #1 spot so they could get a crack at the reigning World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, the British Bulldogs. Morocco and Orton, a very dangerous team, are they not? Hello, we getting through to you at all? The Islanders are dangerous as well. Let's go to ringside right now for this feature tag.
I don't feel very Christmas.
In the ring to my left, introducing first the respective managers, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, and Mr. Fuji. Their tag team combination has a total combined weight of 515 pounds. Introducing first from Sunset Beach, Hawaii, the magnificent Morocco. And his partner from Kansas City, the ace cowboy Bob Orton. And their opponents, about to enter the ring area from the South Pacific at a total combined weight of 518 pounds, Haku and Tama, the Islanders.
Talk about the premier tag team combinations in the World Wrestling Federation. I must say the competition to date is just about the toughest I think it's ever been in history. And we're looking at, I believe, 4 of the best in there. Any man's guess who's going to take this one. Haku and Tama, the Islanders, against a roughhouse combination of Orton and Morocco.
And definitely whoever wins this match will probably stand #1 in line for a chance at the championship of the world.
Haku and Tama. Haku, the larger of the two, the more power of the two, but then again, their styles complement each other so well, as do the styles of Morocco and Orton. Starting things off, Cowboy Bob Orton in there against Tama. Tama whipping Orton to the rope, goes downstairs. Orton goes over him, and leapfrog by Tama. And look at that maneuver by Tama. Oh, Orton down to the canvas. Right back up. Oh, headbutt by Haku. Another one by Tama. And a tag to the magnificent one.
Well, you see how smart Bob Orton was there. He got in trouble, but still had enough sense about him to spin over and make a tag, get to his corner, and that's the key in tag team wrestling.
Uh-oh. Beach bum unison. Jimmy Hart does not like what he hears. Now you talk about two powerhouses. They're locked up in there, 2 pulls. Maybe even as powerful as, what was Blackjack's bull's name? Honcho?
Who wants to know?
He was a good-looking dude, wasn't he?
Can you imagine he jumps in bed with that, does he?
I don't think there was any inference to that, no.
Well, he said he got rid of his girlfriend.
Well, it's Sarah Joe, maybe she went too much. Look at this. Oh, come on. Drop kick by Haku. Tama has Morocco. Across the back of the head. Chop, Morocco in a bit of trouble. Back to Tama. Back to Haku.
Well, I'll tell you, McMahon, so far it's been the Islanders' way early in the bout.
A cheap way to break out of that hold, Jesse. But now look at Toma here. Beautiful arm drag as he takes Horton down.
It might have been cheap, but it got the job done.
Orton now. That's not going to have any effect, I don't believe, on Tama. No, does it? Man has a hard head.
You notice Bob Orton calling for a timeout there.
Little consultation going on with Jimmy Hart, Mr. Fuji.
I don't know if that's good or bad that they're seconded by 2 managers outside the ring. I'm not sure about that. What do you think?
I think it's bad. I don't. Oh, look at that maneuver. That's good, however. That's a good maneuver.
I'm not real sure. You know,
How do you mean bad, Jesse?
Well, what I mean is you know, you got Fuji and you got Hart. They're 2 dynamic managers, and they both have their ideas about what should be going on in that ring, and I'm not sure if they're, you know, if it's going to get along well.
Could very well be a bit confusing in there from time to time, taking advice from both Fuji as well as Jimmy Hart.
Ooh, what a right hand.
That was a right hand. And then some, and Mr. Morocco tagged in now. The magnificent one, as he refers to himself, elbow to the butt of the jaw.
Well, the tide has definitely gone out on the Islanders now. You like that paraphrasing, McMahon?
Not particularly. Morocco in control nonetheless. Haku and Tama, conversely to Morocco and Orton, Haku and Tama apparently don't seem fit to have a manager.
Or maybe nobody wants to manage them.
I doubt that. Tama off the rope. Over Morocco. Off the rope again. Ooh, Morocco tags him with the clothesline and a half.
Now you see a hard head did him no good there.
Caught him on the throat, I guess not. Now why did Morocco go for the pin there? I think that was a mistake.
Might have been, but then again, McMahon, you've never wrestled, so you wouldn't know really a mistake.
Not on a professional basis. Drop kick by Cowboy Bob Orton. And Orton trying to set up Tama, who I'm sure would like very much to
What a move by Cowboy Bob Orton. I'll tell you the guy.
Our feature, indeed a feature and a classic, seems to be going both ways right now. One side has the upper hand and the other. 2 managers standing there only moments ago. A look at them looked like neither one of them could ever get locked up. Not contributing very much to the match. We'll be back with the conclusion in just a moment. What exactly happens when 2 of those guys get together on the side of the ring like that? Neither one of them is going to have a real effect over Morocco, do you think?
You're talking about Hart and Fuji?
Yeah.
Well, I'll explain that to you. It's very simple. It goes
Too
like
late.
this.
We're going to go back to the matchup, folks. Let's go back to the ring.
Ask me a question.
2 in. No.
Oh, yeah.
Came in.
Now, let's hear it, Bruno. Let's hear it.
He just gave him
Justify
back a little
that.
same Madison that the other guys always display.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
You know, what's good for one's good for the other once in a while.
Nice reversal, Bob Orton. What flying into the buckle. And Tama in control. Tama snapping over Orton. Tama with a kick to the chest area. I think perhaps Tama's making a mistake here. I think Tama should have tagged out to Haku a long time ago.
Well, it's probably okay because his partner illegally come in and save him again, I'm sure. Look at this now. Look at this. Look at this. Let's see, it's all right.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's all right because it's you and Bruno's favorites doing it.
Well, Orton and Morocco were doing the same thing earlier.
Drop kick caught. Orton on the back of the head. Orton goes sailing over the top rope. Morocco's down, and Haku is cleaning house. Uh-oh. Morocco comes in the hard way.
Now, wait a minute. Was there a tag made? Who's the legal man? Isn't Cowboy Bob Orton's legal, isn't he?
I think you're right. Naga knocker. Orton, the legal man in the ring. Haku trying to set him up to polish him off. Elbow to the butt of the jaw. A cover. We have one. Make it 2. And that's all.
And you notice Bob Orton kicked out. He didn't need no help from Morocco to get out. This match should have been over with 3 minutes ago.
Sort of a telegraph maneuver on the part of Haku. Tag made to powerhouse Morocco. Back in now. Morocco, the neck breaker. A magnificent one. He's big as a bus, isn't he?
You know, I'm interested in, Morocco has a devastating pile driver, but I'm not sure if it'll work on these two hard heads.
On the outside, Tama trying to gain some support for Haku. Haku back to his feet. Chop to the throat. Another. Morocco being set up. Whip to the rope. And up. Ooh, both men go down. Who's going to recover first? Oh, how about that? The tag of Orton. Haku unable to tag. Tama. Orton's going to cut him off anyhow. No! How about that?
He got the
How about that? Tama moving into the midsection of Cowboy Bob Orton for the ride. Out, up, over. Tama with a right. Oh. Just like that, it spins right back around Orton's favor. Orton missing. Tama, flying body press. They're both are out. They ran right into that retaining wall there. That retaining barrier. All four wrestlers outside, hammering away.
I'll tell you, it's gotten out of control now. The referee's going to have to do something. There could be a count out here if somebody don't get back in that ring.
Oh, that had no effect at all. Tama with Morocco. Orton and Morocco back in. I'm not sure what that decision is.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be a count out.
The referee has counted both teams out of the ring. He rules this bout a double count out.
Got out of hand there. Haku and Tama coming back around. Jimmy Hart takes off. Mr. Fuji looks kind of like a penguin, doesn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, there's no reason for these guys to go chasing managers. I mean, just because they couldn't win the match. No need to try to beat up a manager then.
Fuji looks kind of like a bulbous Charlie Chan. Nonetheless.
And probably just as smart, too.
Confucius say. In any event, no advancement on the part of either team.
Nobody gained any ground in that one, Bobby.
Did you get your Christmas shopping done?
Well, yeah, I think I'm pretty much up to date. There's a few last-minute things I have to do.
Don't get me nothing. I know I'm at the top of that list, but don't get me nothing.
Yeah, you're on my list, all right, but not particularly my Christmas list.
I got you something for next week.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Good. Is Miss Betty bringing it, or?
Miss Betty may make an appearance at our Christmas party here next week.
Oh, yeah?
That's right.
Well, that'll be a first.
People may get to see her.
Let me ask you this: why doesn't a guy like Mr. Fuji, why doesn't he take Morocco and Orton and be by himself?
You mean without Jimmy Hart?
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy Hart is an advisor to Bob Orton.
Mr. Fuji doesn't understand or listen to anybody. That's been proven time and time again. Mr. Fuji is an entity within himself. Well, folks, that wraps it up for another week here on Primetime. What are you whistling? Jingle bells? Is that Jingle Bells? You're getting ready for
Ave Maria.
You're getting ready for our Christmas show next week.
Oh, am I ever?
We got a lot of surprises in store.
I got a few surprises too.
Action-packed lineup.
The King.
Well, yes, the King is going to be here.
The King will be here next
The
week.
return of Blackjack Mulligan.
Wow, the barnyard buffoon made it back off the range.
Well, I think you're going to be very unhappy about the new Blackjack Mulligan because he's going to present a great problem to a lot of your people, including the King.
Yeah, well, he'll be back behind the dewdrop and he messes with any member of my family.
We're going to get to see the guy with the chains, too.
Hercules.
Hercules Hernandez. Incidentally, he's our feature match. Why did you mention that?
I was about to before I was so rudely interrupted.
Hercules Hernandez will be our feature next week. The opposition, the one and only world's heavyweight champion, the Hulkster himself, Hulk Hogan. That is our Christmas present to all our primetime
And you're going to
viewers.
see where Hulk Hogan submits when Hercules picks him up in the backbreaker.
I'm going to see that?
You're going to see it and you're going to hear it. I was there at ringside.
Highly unlikely that I'm going to see that.
And I may have presents for the whole crew here. Except this guy with the cues. He's
Next
the
week,
worst.
prime time, back on Tuesday. We'll see you all then.